And I've been interested in coming before you primarily to introduce myself. I'm the new chairman of the commission since June, and as part of that, I've been interested in developing an agenda for my tenure and putting together some goals for that time. And as part of doing that, I felt it's very important to speak with the town council, community groups, Town of Yarmouth, anyone who really would be considered stakeholders in the airport, and trying to understand their concerns, their issues, and update them on what's going on at the airport. And what I hope to do tonight is just put a face before you as to who I am, and just very briefly, I've been on the commission for a couple of years, and I want you to know that I recognize, as do the other members of the commission, that we work for the town. Okay, we recognize that the airport is an extraordinary asset of the town of Barnstable, and we take that very seriously. But our marching orders and our appointments, as you know, come from you. So as far as we're concerned, you're the boss, and we're going to try to participate and have dialogue as much as possible so that we get input from you all as to how you think and the town thinks that the municipal airport should be run. So that's a strong philosophy that I have and have brought to the table with the rest of the commission. My experience is in engineering. I'm an engineer, registered PE in civil and environmental. I came to the Cape to clean up, work on the cleanup at Otis, and I've been the CEO of an environmental consulting firm. So I am very familiar with the issues that are going on in the airport. I was in the Navy, I was a CB, did a lot of construction work, worked on airports, so all these issues are very familiar to me, and I'm very comfortable working in this environment. I wanted to mention that in conjunction with the fact that we have a very talented and committed group of commissioners. As you know, or I've heard, I'm sure in the last week, our airport manager resigned. So in the interim, Frank Sanchez, the assistant manager, has stepped in to fill that role. He was a very competent, confident, strong manager who's worked in this position in the past, and I'm sure he'll do a fine job once again in the transition time while we can find a new manager. But we also have a very hands-on group of individuals in the commission with a number of subcommittees, and they'll be working very hard to make sure that there's no blips in the management of the airport. Again, we recognize it's a very important facility where safety is really the #1 issue for not only residents but the flying public as well. So we will step up to the plate and put together an advertisement and try to fill that position as soon as possible. But I don't think you're going to see any decrease in the level of service or management at the airport. What I wanted to mostly update you on is the projects that we have ongoing. We have design ongoing with the terminal and the airport improvement projects, and I brought a small graphic here just to point out a couple of things, which I'll do. But the three major things as part of the project are the new terminal building, about a 30,000 square foot terminal building, which will be located very close to where the existing facility is, but that facility will be removed, as well as the existing facility, the old Continental Terminal, that is just to the north of the present facility. There will be additional parking that will be constructed, but as important as the terminal, as you made it very clear to us, as the Cape Cod Commission, is the provision of an access road that will serve the airport. And that access road that will be constructed and completed prior to the terminal being open. And in fact, the access road will probably be completed before we even start construction on the terminal. We heard that loud and clear, and that's the way we've planned it. And another part of this that we have removed recently, we had another access by what's called the Sullivan lot. And I'm going to stand up here, and I guess I'll take this with me. But the proposed terminal, you can see here, the existing terminal is in this location here. The proposed terminal is going to be a little closer to the rotary area or to the west. And one of the primary reasons for moving it is the current terminal really is in one of the safety zones and needs to come out of that area. The access road will serve the terminal from here. We'll go behind the existing airport buildings. This will be a new road behind where Circuit City is being built, behind Cape Air and the Kmart Mall. And it's going to cross here, and this is a major milestone. There were several properties that needed to be purchased as part of this. One of them was the Blackburns junkyard property that was located in this area. That parcel was negotiated, has been purchased, environmental work has been done, and it's probably 99% cleaned up. There was a lot of soil that needed to be cleaned up and taken off site. All the solid waste debris has been removed, automobiles, tires, so that will become a overflow parking area with a pervious surface, or a grass-type surface. It won't be paved, and that'll be for overflow parking in the busy times of the year, primarily in the summer. And so the access road is going to turn a corner here and go by the former, where Penn d'Avion was previously located, and there'll be a new signalized intersection at the intersection of Airport Road and Addicts Lane. And the traffic at that point would continue on Addicts Lane out to the signalized intersection at Independence Drive and Addicts Lane, where traffic could go either way at that point. I mentioned the other access that we had previously had planned and was in the Cape Cod Commission DRI submission, in which you may all be familiar, is where we have this, we called it the Sullivan Lot. There's a lot here next to the hotel and gas station, or the inn and gas station, where we have vehicles parked now. We were going to have a signalized intersection on 132 there with an airport access. Growth management folks and others in the town felt that that could be a problem, particularly in this heavily congested area of 132 and the Rotary, in that if we had a signalized intersection here so close to the Rotary, it's possible that would back up into the Rotary. So we had our consultants take a look at that, our traffic consultants, and they were comfortable that we could eliminate that as an access point and with the other accesses, and still maintain a good flow and not impact negatively the Rotary area, which has been the subject of much study lately. So getting into the airport from the Yarmouth end, or the east, there will be a right entrance only behind where the current TD Bank North. That bank will be, that bank is going to be removed. That's airport property. That will be no longer there. There'll be access in. There'll be access out Airport Road, but again, that's going to be a right out only. You can't go left there. So any traffic that's going to leave the airport is really going to come out Independence Drive, and then if people want to go back east, they're going to have to go through Hyannis or 132 to the highway, or I'm sure a number of people will continue to go Mary Dunn through the industrial park and out to Route 6A. And as an update on the property, there's one more property that we have. There were several that had to be negotiated and purchased. One of the property owners hasn't really indicated a desire to sell their property, and so I just wanted to mention that we're going to be coming before the council for eminent domain taking on that particular property, because without that property, the access road doesn't get built, and as you know, that's a significant project, or part of the project. So coming up in the next couple of weeks, there'll be a proposal for that before you. I just wanted to mention it so that you're aware and that it will be coming before you. And the last thing I wanted to mention was master planning. The town, with the local comprehensive plan, we know you've been reviewing, and the town's been going through that process, the Cape Cod Commission with the regional policy plan. But the airport has always had master planning, but in the past that master planning has pretty much been done at the airport by our consultants, and we've been working our projects along the way, and you find out about that when the projects come forth. I feel very strongly that any master planning that goes on for the airport needs to involve all the stakeholders, as I mentioned earlier, not only the town government, but town people, residents, neighboring towns, impacted parties. I think all of those folks have a real role in working with the town and the commission in developing a master plan that works. The master plan should be reflective of what the town wants to see happen at the airport, as well as the flying public. So we have gotten a draft of that master plan. We're going through that draft, and what I'm going to embark on very shortly is meeting with you all. We're going to do a workshop with Yarmouth, with community groups. I've met with the Hyannis Civic Association. I've met with the Water Board to start talking about some of these issues, so that when we have a master plan, not only does it dovetail and work well with your own local comprehensive plan, but it does with the regional policy plan as well. So these documents should all coordinate with one another rather than being separate documents. We feel very strongly about that, and part of coming here and talking to you about that is to let you know what our philosophy is in the realm of master planning. So I think that's all I really wanted to touch on, more just to say hello, introduce myself, talk a little about my philosophy, and update the status on some of the projects. And I look forward to coming back and talk to you more in detail about some of these things, and perhaps with some of the other commissioners and maybe a new manager at that point.
Can you get